Hey, mi gente, le habla Paopao. We're here at Sueños Festival in Chicago. I'm here with Chicago Street TV. We're ready.
Si puedes hablar un poco acerca de cuál, what has been your impression of Chicago so far?
I love Chicago. I don't know if this is like a good or a bad thing. Yo digo que es un Nueva York más limpio y más amplio, and I don't know if that's insulting or not, but I love it. I think it's big, it's refreshing, the weather is sick. I love it. I like Chicago a lot. It's my second time here.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if that might be like a...
Oh no, I'm using that soundbite for sure.
That's,
what are your thoughts on Sueños so far, your experience? And the fact that Chicago has never necessarily been looked at as like a hub for Latinos.
Literal.
But, Sueños is bringing all these people from across Latin America together. What do you think about that?
I love that it's here, and I love to see so many, that's what you said, Chicago isn't really, you don't really think of, a Latino culture in Chicago, but there's so many, and literally what I just experienced was the definition of that. So I don't know, it's sick. I heard that it's the second year they do it, so it's an honor to be here. It's my first festival that I've been a part of other festivals, but never as a main artist. So I was like, oh shit, so this is really special to me.
Wow, felicitaciones.
Thank you, gracias,
That's a beautiful accomplishment.
Sí, está cabrón.
Una pregunta que te quería hacer
Okay.
es, tú le escribiste una canción a Chiquis.
Chiquis Rivera.
Ok, ahora, la pregunta viene hacia tú siendo boricua, puertorriqueña, y haciendo el esfuerzo y teniendo el interés para colaborar con un artista de México. Ahora, tú hiciste eso en 2020.
Literal.
It was not trending, it was not cool. Y ahora, obviously, over the past few weeks,
Literal,
we've seen, Fuerza Régida with Mike Towers, Peso Pluma with Eladio. Then we got, Bad Bunny did his collab with
Literal,
Frontera. So, how do you, first of all, what inspired you to want to try to go across that bridge to work with a Mexican artist?
I've always been very into the lyrics. Como que en verdad la música mexicana is very lyric heavy and very lyric driven. Que son baladas al final del día, solo que pues depende el arreglo es lo que cambia. So a mí, for Chiquis, I got called into the session as a writer. They were like, oh, Pao, we want to write a cumbia. And yo estaba escribiendo reggaeton, so I was like, oh, okay, sure. But at the end of the day, I come from singer-songwriter. Writing a song is telling a story regardless of the genre. And I remember I walked into the session, she was there, and she's like, I want to write about this. And I was like, I got you. Y en verdad, that was the single for her album that won a Latin Grammy. And I love that it's cool. I love that it's being able, porque regional Mexican music is massive in Mexico, and it's always been maintained there, but I love that it's crossing over.
Okay. And what do you think is the importance, of being a Latino artist and working with artists that are of different nationalities and backgrounds? What is the value to that?
The value to working with different nationalities, different backgrounds, even American artists working with Latin artists, we're expanding the culture. This wouldn't have been possible a couple years ago, porque literal como que no, el reggaeton, it's been it's globalized. Well, right now it's global, but it's just, it's huge. Latin people have had, Latinos have had such a struggle with everything, ¿me entiendes? Como que poder estar aquí haciendo esto, which means it's the true definition of working hard and making, literal, como que, so para mí, it's an honor to be representing it too.
That was fire.
Thank
that
you.
was amazing. I love the fact that you circled it back to this narrative of working hard, which is what Latinos typically do, right? You've had an experience in Puerto Rico, then you went to the Dominican, then you went to Miami. What was the influence of being around these different cultures, and how do you think that impacted your artistry?
My music is a little bit of everything también. I love that I lived in different places too, because I love being Puerto Rican, but being exposed to different cultures also makes you empathetic and aware of other languages too, and the way that people speak, porque yo hablo como que reggaeton y le meto palabras boricua, but at the same time now a lot of people are adapting and they understand it, pero también hay que estar consciente de que not everyone knows what you're talking about. So I tend to level, I guess, that as much as I can when I'm singing, and even when I'm speaking too. Pero sí, just experiencing different cultures is the best thing anyone can do. For your mind, for your soul, I don't know, I love it.
With the song Gato or Got
Yes,
X,
Gats.
that had kind of like a drill feel to
Yes.
it, and drill comes from Chicago.
It does.
So like, what is that? Like, what inspired that, or how do you feel the fact that like you did that and now you're in Chicago, right? Is your
It's
first,
wild.
premiering at
Yes.
your first festival as a main artist?
I love it. I'm sad I didn't sing it, but it's like a new song, so it's not usually in my. That just comes to like, the way I see my music is like alternative urban music, ¿me entiendes? So I mix a bunch of different genres. Obviously, Latin drill is like a new-ish thing, but it's definitely like up and coming, and it's like getting really big, really fast. That song is like trap drill, Jersey club, like with like reggaeton lyrics and like sad girl vibes. So that's one of my favorite songs. And just being here is like, I don't know, I'll get to absorb more of it. I'll write more, I guess. I'll do more drills soon.
Hell yeah, no, it's super hot. I loved it.
Thank you.
So just to wrap up, two more questions. Obviously you studied music. It's a part of your academic enrichment, right? The process of learning and growing at such an early age. Where did the initial interest, like where did the initial, you necessarily being inclined to be like, you know what? I'm not there yet, but I want to study this. I don't want to just do it. I want to actually understand it and learn it.
It's funny, I've always been very type A. Like I've always been like very studious, straight A's, like the nerd. And I come from a very traditional Latin family. Like my families are doctors, engineers, lawyers, like they've always worked, they've always gone to college, graduated, did the thing. And like when you say you want to do music, you're like, no. My mom always supported me. My dad was like, hell no. Now he's like super proud. Anyways, that's another story. But I forgot the question because that's my ADD speaking. No, okay, for music and enrichment, I feel like I had to do the college route because that was the only way I knew how to keep going. Like I'm not really, I need to have a plan. I'm not the kind of person to just like leap and let me do music and see how it works. Like I wanted to, in my head it was like, let me study this, let me like get serious about it. But you don't have to. I feel like with music, sometimes like the less education, the more you can experience, or experiment with it. I feel like not everyone, but there's the majority of Latin music producers and writers they've never studied music, and they experiment and they come up with crazy shit because they're like they're not thinking of like theoretically, they're not thinking about it, and they're not thinking about what they have to do. They're just like vibing. So I think that's really dope. I learned a lot from college, but mainly I think like from my peers. It was like, you feed off of each other's energy and
environment.
Like, so I learned a lot through that, and like I did my master's in music too, because they gave me the degree and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in the meantime, so sure, full ride. But then I learned a lot about contracts and stuff like that too. So I think education is really important, but you don't need to go to college for it. It's obviously that's a privilege that if you can have it, then amazing, but it's not like a necessity, especially in Latin music.
Any upcoming projects that you have that you might want to sneak peek and drop preview?
I can't do previews because
not a preview, but like
this
talk
is like
about
ever-changing industry. Like who knows if it's even gonna come out? No, but I do have. I'm getting ready to drop like my next project. There's gonna be like a complete project as well, but like being dropped slowly. I think it's like Diamantes y Espinas 2.0. It's like my new, like another EP. It's another vibe. I love it. It's like I keep experimenting with like genres and like what I have to say in the like industry and stuff. So that has a lot to do with it. And I don't know. I hope you like it.